ButtKicker. Feel what you've been missing. Get yours today at thebuttkicker.com and be sure to use our 20% discount promo code ISCA20.
Hello and welcome everyone to the iRacing Stock Car Association ButtKicker Cup and Super Cup Series. And tonight we are going to be tackling Chicagoland. A little bit of difference here. Of course, the NASCAR Cup Series is off this week. And last week we were at Sonoma, but this time definitely quite a lovely surprise, I'd say, just considering the practice we have been seeing out here at Chicagoland for the Domino's 200. This is going to be a 134-lap race, and man, am I excited. Big Al, how are you feeling?
Man, I'm feeling pretty good, Brian, and super excited as well. We get to get away to Chicago for a little vacation. Think it's going to be a great race here tonight. What about you?
Oh, I definitely think so. And looking at the race facts here for tonight, of course, like I said, this is the Domino's 200 here at Chicagoland. 134 laps. Stages are going to be 25, 50, and of course the race is going to end on 135 or 134 going to 135. 5 tire sets in the pits here. 45 laps of fuel here. So definitely going to make green flag pit stops probably going to be the talking point in the last part of the race here. Definitely going to be an exciting one. And let's take a quick moment. I'm going to look at the points here before while we're wrapping or getting qualifying underway. And looking at the Super Cup Series points here, Clayton Hoffman out in front of him. What's really crazy about him being out in front of the points lead is he has 4 wins, but only has raced 7 times this season, and he is actually racing in here tonight too. So definitely excited to see what he brings out, what he brings to the table. Josh Schaffner right now second place in the points. He has 2 wins on the season. Mark Pageant is in third place. He has 2 wins on the season also. Fourth place Jeffrey Souza, also 2 wins. Brandon Pasalacqua, 5th place, also 2 wins. Matt DeCiani, 6th place in the points, 1 win. Al Kozlowski with 1 win in 7th. 8th place Chris Johnson with 1 win. And Noah Bitts is our final winner in the points here, 9th place. And 10th place Wayne Grossi, our highest non-winner in points. And Grossi has been definitely showing up and showing out, and expect no less from him here tonight.
Yeah, absolutely. And Wayne Grossi definitely is starting to find his legs, if you will. So, Brian, wow, looks like we've got a lot of things going on in the points here, man. But this is the beginning of a brand new season. So I think this is going to be an exciting time for a lot of drivers as we get ready to kick off Season 3. To actually get themselves up on that leaderboard. You know what I mean? These points are going to be available as we go through these 3 stages and the 2 stages. And I think all drivers are going to have to take as much advantage as, take advantage of that as often as they can.
Definitely. I mean, it's going to be somewhat of a fresh start for these guys. As you mentioned, the ButtKicker Series is just starting for this race. Of course, what I was referring to was actually the Super Cup Series, which covers the entire NASCAR Cup Series kind of length. So definitely cool. We see NASCAR, they take this week off. Well, guess what? ISCA, we don't take no weeks off. Man, I'm excited to see this. And like I said, I mean, what I've seen in practice over the last couple of days, a lot of these guys have been getting together in practice sessions and putting a lot of time in to build that setup, get it perfectly right. And we've been seeing 3 wide racing, sometimes even 4 wide. Chicago's a wide racetrack with a lot of room to make some moves. I don't think anyone is going to be safe out here. If we do have an accident, it's going to be a big one. That's for sure.
Yeah, definitely. Hopefully, though, the big one will stay at bay, but I don't think so. I think because we did see 3 wide racing, even at practice, and these cars are so fast, we're definitely going to see 3 wide racing, and that's probably going to lead to us having a couple of big ones there because this is a pretty large field, Brian.
Yeah, you got that right. I mean, I do believe we probably have 30 cars going to be making their way out to the grid here. Of course, qualifying is wrapping up. Only 30 seconds left here. Let's take a quick step away and play our national anthem and then get the grid set.
Oh, say, can't you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we held at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous streaming, and the rockets regular, the bombs bursting in air, get through the night, that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave.
Race fans, it is time for those most famous words in motorsports.
Drivers, start your engines!
And we are back, ladies and gentlemen, and the field is set. Matt DeCiani going to be grabbing a pole here for the first time here in the ButtKicker Cup Series Season 3 here. Mark Pageant is going to start in second place. Third place, Greg Wachinski. Fourth place is going to be Carl Dodson. 15th, Thomas O'Hara. Sixth place is going to be Jeffrey Souza. Seventh place, Chris Johnson. Eighth place, Joey Preeb. Ninth place, Philippe Radijic. And wrapping out our top 10, Andrew Grisbaum. 11th place is going to be Austin Story. 12th place, Joseph Lester. 13th, Kenny Powell.
14th, John Mullins. 15th, Clayton Hoffman. 16th, Brian Johnson. 17th, J.C. Nebrega. 18th, Lucas Abreu. 19th, Josh Schaffner. And 20th, Al Keselowski.
21st is going to be Paul Olson. 22nd, Danilo Coelho. I do believe that's how you say that name. Hopefully I did not mess that up. 23rd is going to be Jason Baker. 24th, Derek Jacobs. 25th, Robert Pattengale. And that is going to be our 25-car field here tonight. And excited to see these guys get off the grid here. Man, this is going to be a good one. I mean, Chicago's a track that is known for having so many grooves. I mean, you could run right along the wall. You can run the middle. You can run the bottom. And you're going to see some guys probably even go down there on that apron on this front stretch. One thing, it's kind of sad that, you don't see the NASCAR Cup Series race at Chicago anymore. Hopefully that somehow makes a resurgence because this is such an exciting track.
Yeah, it is an exciting track, and I think these guys are going to put on a show here. We've got a full field just about, Brian, and I think it's going to be some exciting racing. Just got to wait now for us to get this show on the road.
As we mentioned before, this is going to be 134 laps, stage breaks on 25 and 50. I do believe 5 sets of tires are in the pits, so I'm curious what tire wear is even going to look like. What was really interesting about last week when we were at Sonoma, tire wear didn't seem to matter, not in the slightest.
No, it didn't, and it's still not this week either with that new tire model, but I don't know. This is Chicago, so we'll see how this plays out because we do got 134 laps before we actually get this one in the books, and we will have at least fuel and tire data sometime there, hopefully by the end of that second stage, Brian.
And it looks like we got a couple guys taking a little bit of time to get to the grid here. So looks like we'll have a little bit of time here before we get moving. Why don't we take a quick step away, take a little bit of time for our sponsors. Sorry, ladies and gentlemen, we had a little bit of a miscommunication. Thought these guys were going to be taking a little bit longer to get rolling, but luckily they are rolling now. So if you thought we're going to have a commercial, a boring old commercial, nope, we're going to get some racing going, and I think this is going to be exciting. I'm curious if these guys are going to be taking it easy. One thing about it, you have to be, there at the end to win one of these races, and with the new damage model on these cars, Big Al, I think you got to be really, really careful. I mean, you knock a wheel out of alignment, you could be seeing yourself sitting in pit road for quite a while.
Yeah, that is very true, Brian, because that new damage model is out there, and it's really not waiting on anybody. And you hit the nail directly on the head, because if these guys get out of sorts or get into each other, it will show up, and unfortunately, it's not going to end well.
Not at all. Curious, we might see some guys make some adjustments. I know we talked about, these guys have been practicing, multiple days of, long sessions where these guys have been spending, really putting a lot of work into these cars. I'm curious if the temperature of the racetrack is a little bit different than maybe what they're expecting here. As the pace car goes down pit road, the green flag soon to be coming back out as they're exiting the Geico restart zone. And side by side, look at the start there from Mark Pageant, able to stay right there on him. Greg Wyszynski also able to stay side by side with Carl Dodson. Haven't seen Carl Dodson in a while. But it looks like Matt DeCiani able to rocket around on the bottom, and he is going to get clear of Mark Pageant. See the 19 Austin Story right now trying to hold off Joseph Lester. Lester running a little bit higher on the racetrack. Andrew Grisbaum, he is having a rocket ship in that Ford. He up on the top side. Look at that 78 there, Big Al. Definitely a lot of fighting already here. Of course, last week's winner was Joseph Lester. Much different racetrack than a road course. I would say easier, but then again, you're going to see a lot of these guys. This is where they're at. This is where their home is when it comes to the style of racing usually these guys are accustomed to. Mark Pageant on the bottom, taking the apron, able to get side by side with Matt DeCiani. Carl Dodson and Greg Wyszynski still battling it out. Looks like Wyszynski's going to be able to get the momentum up on the top side. And one thing that's different about this racetrack than any other mile and a half is, not any other mile and a half. I think Vegas is pretty similar when it comes to this, but the backstretch is not straight. It is a curved type of section, and that can make it very easy to tag that wall.
Yeah, it looks like Bill Gal's having technical difficulties here. Seems like I'm down to one screen, Brian, so I hate to leave you by yourself, but really kind of hard for me to call it from where I'm sitting right now. So just give me a couple of seconds here, and I'll be with you momentarily.
It sounds like you've been having a time all day, man, so I definitely can understand, and we'll definitely be patient with you. The race must go on here as Andrew Grisbaum surges up to 7th place. Philippe Radicic trying to follow him right on through. Austin Story right now side by side with the 64 of John Mullins. Mullins on the, actually that is actually Chris Johnson on the bottom there. You see Mullins is actually right behind them in that Exide car, I do believe. You see in the 51. I am loving that 51's paint scheme. Jason Baker there in 14th. Got a red and white Marines paint scheme, but it looks like he's a little out of sorts there. I wonder how big of a factor dirty air plays into this. I do believe I would think it would be quite a large amount of it's very useful. I'd say you want to have as much downforce as you can, especially when you got so many guys in front of you. I'm sure that does cause handling difficulty. Ooh, someone's slow on the apron back there. And that is Paul Olson. He's going to fall back to last place. But still the battle is on for the lead as Matt DeCiani trying to hold off Mark Pageant. But it looks like he's capable of doing so. Pageant now is in the dirty air. We saw those guys fighting side by side earlier, and I think Pageant was doing that because he knew how important that clean air was. But unfortunately, he was not able to get there. And I even think that the clean air is probably better for the tires, able to really save them a lot better. There is some fighting going on. Greg Wyszynski, he's back now to 5th place, now under fire from Joey Plebe in that Reaper Speed Labs machine. And man, that 78, Andrew Grisbaum, has just been ridiculously fast here tonight. He is alongside Greg Wyszynski, knocking on the door for the top 6. Philippe Radicic not sure where to go. Do I go top? Do I go bottom? A little bit further back here, we do see Jason Baker fighting with, I do believe, John Mullins. Here comes Joseph Lester into the picture. He's now working his way up to 14th, trying to take 13th away. There's Kenny Powell also right now in 15th. Greg Wachinski trying to hold off Andrew Grisbaum. And it looks like he's actually doing a pretty good job of it. I think that's going to be the key here, not to let anybody get by you. But his long run potential is not looking very good. Greg Wachinski last time by 31.962, which is much slower than everyone around him. Multiple tenths slower, actually. As tire wear does seem to be a factor here. We are seeing some fall off, about a half a second for the majority of the field. A little bit further back, we do see some other people battling here. Some guys we haven't seen in a minute. JC Nobrega, he's working his way up to 17th place. Is Clayton Hoffman working his way up, trying to make some passes here. Surprised he's not further up in this field. And I think, one thing that I think really is probably causing these guys a whole heck of a lot of problems here tonight is, this is not an official scheduled race, or it is for the ISCA, but the officials are not at Chicagoland. So these guys probably had to really work on the setups, and if they didn't have one, then they were definitely going to be up the creek. Oh, 3 wide up here. Andrew Grisbaum, Philippe Radijic, as I do believe, man, Thomas O'Hara surging ahead. This is a cluster right up here. It's Kenny Powell trying to work his way up. He's now in 13th. Man, these guys are racing hard right now. Look at this. This is exciting right here. As I do believe Philippe Radijic not having the pace he once did here. Even Andrew Grisbaum slowed down quite a bit, so those guys definitely lacking the long run pace. Kenny Powell right now side by side with Andrew Grisbaum. Looks like he's going to be able to get clear here. He's got, I do believe, Brian Johnson right there in tow. And here comes Josh Schaffner on the inside of Grisbaum. Grisbaum has hit somehow a brick wall because he has slowed down quite a bit. He is not looking anything like what we saw earlier in this race. And right now, Matt DeCiani out to 1.6 seconds of a lead. He is driving away. If you thought clean air was not going to be the factor here, it definitely is, as he is driving, making some big. Carl Dodson, I should say, has made his way up to the second position, able to get around Mark Pageant. That is crazy. We haven't seen Dodson in quite a while. Glad to see him out here. Definitely showing a tremendous amount of speed right now, as he's even faster than the leader. He's actually a tenth or more faster than Matt DeCiani last time by. See Jeffrey Souza starting to make his way up. He's going to start to challenge Mark Pageant here soon. Definitely some excellent work from these drivers. I mean, can't wait to see how this new damage model. I never want to wish anybody to get in a wreck, but I want to see how the damage model affects these cars here at this track.
Yeah, absolutely. Me too. This looks like Kenny Powell is leading his teammate Brian Johnson and Josh Schaffner as these guys are coming on around here. Got 16 laps in the book. Big Al looks like he's got most of his technical woes taken care of, but still got me at the mic, Brian.
Well, definitely glad to have you back. I was floundering there.
Oh, you were doing great, man. I was actually able to hear you. I just couldn't help you out, buddy.
Here comes Greg Wachinski on the inside of the 65 of Joey Plebe, or Prebe, I should say. And it looks like side by side, Greg Wachinski getting tight. Man, that was some door-to-door action if I ever saw it.
Yeah, absolutely. These guys are trying to find lines all over this racetrack anywhere they can because, once again, these guys didn't really get any assistance in setup, so all of the teams were kind of on their own. And with this new tire model and the new damage model that came into effect, the cars actually did change their handling as well. 3 wide, though, looking like.
Almost 3 wide there as I see Greg Wachinski. He had to lift quite a bit to stay out of the 65's door there. Wachinski looking really tight right now. That's going to give an opportunity here to Chris Johnson. He moves up to 6. Now going to try to challenge Joey Prebe. lot of guys suffering from a little bit of some handling conditions. I think the tires are definitely playing a role, and I think the dirty air is definitely playing a monster role right now. Kenny Powell getting a good surge ahead up on the top line. He's going to try to get around Thomas O'Hara.
He absolutely is, because he knows that is one of those points-paying positions, so he's got to crack in. He's already in the top 10, so now that battle right there, that's going to push O'Hara all the way back to 11th, as Powell now is be coming in behind Lester here.
You know, it's really crazy, though, that these guys are having so many handling issues right now. And, this is not going to be the longest run of the race by far. I mean, we got that final stage. Those guys are going to have to do the longest run there. It makes me wonder, if they're already having problems now, what is it going to look like later?
It's going to look like a race. I mean, the bottom line is these guys.
3 wide. Joseph Lester, we got Joey Preeb was in the middle there. Man, up here it is a hornet's nest as Joseph Lester makes his way up to 5th.
Yeah, Joey Preeby, he's new to this series right here in that 65 car, so I think he's going to actually he's going to try to put the horns to Joseph Lester as soon as he gets an opportunity. But these guys are they're racing pretty hard here, Brian.
3 wide once again, as it looks like Chris Johnson's going to try to force his way back up to 6th again. As Joey Preeb, he's trying to just hang on here, as he has now hit a G&G swarm. Kenny Powell on the top side, along with Brian Johnson right there behind him.
Yeah, Greg Wojcinski also in the mix here. These guys are definitely, like you're right, Joey Preeby is not having any fun right now because he is in that G&G hornet's nest.
That he is. 5 laps to go. Oh, problems for Brian Johnson. Oh, no, that was a huge hit. No caution either.
Yeah, he got into Joey Preeby. Those two definitely made contact, and then Johnson, it smacked him in the wall. With that new damage model, I don't think he's going to be feeling too good tomorrow there, boys.
Look at the tire. Look at the tire on Brian Johnson. It's falling off.
Yeah, looks like Preeby just got into the back end of him just a little bit, man.
Huge hit there, and everybody was lucky that they missed that.
Yeah,
but if you take a look at him while he's rolling down pit road, you can see, or take a I'd say probably a right side front, if we can, a view on that. Look at that tire.
Yeah, that's awesome, Brian.
Oh, my word.
Preby's still mixing it up, as he has got Josh Schaffner now and Greg Wojcinski on the hunt. These both two are going to be directly on the tail of that 65 trying to get in. Wojcinski's going to be washed up high. Schaffner looks like he's going to be trying to make it stick on the outside. But Joey Preby, though, he is definitely getting his taxes worth of that track, because he is driving from the low line to the high line with a smile on his face the whole time.
Hey, that he is. Excellent work from him. As Kenny Powell now trying to work his way up into the top 5.
Yeah, Kenny Powell definitely. He was he said he was pretty excited about the way he had that G&G Camry running, but it looks like he definitely is doing it now, as he's going to be trying to get a run on Joseph Lester here in that 95 Napa car, that Napa know-how.
Looks like I do believe the white flag for the stage is going to be waving here in just a moment. As Clayton Hoffman trying to challenge Greg Wojcinski. That's going to send Greg Wojcinski back to 10th here. Matt DeCiani is your leader, though, right now, with about a second of a lead on Carl Dodson. But Dodson is catching him, so I wouldn't be surprised to see Dodson have some race-winning pace when it comes to the longer run.
Man, these guys are definitely sticking it all the way in. Looks like that is going to be the end of that first stage, guys. Caution is out. Well, with that, let's take a step away, get a word from our sponsors. Then we'll come back and see if we can't dial up our Stage 1 winner.
No.
When you carry out,
Some things are out of your control, but with Domino's new carryout insurance, we'll replace your pizza if it gets ruined after you leave the store. Carry out large 3-topping pizzas for $7.99 every day.
And we are back, ladies and gentlemen. And everyone's probably going to be making their way down pit road. We definitely saw quite a bit of fall off. Would not be surprised to see some adjustments being laid out in these race cars, just considering. Definitely excited to maybe talk to our Stage 1 winner after he's able to complete his pit stop here. But he is leading everyone down. No one going to be staying out here. And I don't blame him, just considering. I mean, man, and still, that's one thing I don't think we've seen quite a lot of is when, Brian Johnson, whenever he hit that wall, how that affected that tire. I love the new damage model so far, Big Al. I'm sure he's not loving it, though.
Yeah, he's not loving it, but, it makes that racing just that much more realistic because, he just ran into something that he couldn't get past, and that made the difference.
Problems there from Mark Pageant. He misses his box. He's going to be bleeding position from that mistake. Matt DeCiani able to win the race on pit road. Jeffrey Souza able to get off in second. Kenny Powell also made up some positions here, up to third. Let's go ahead and get Matt DeCiani dialed up, Big Al.
Well, roger that.
Yeah, if you don't mind.
He's here.
Matt DeCiani, we got you here in the booth. Our Stage 1 winner. Man, I mean, you just had a rocket ship out there. We did see Carl Dodson was starting to run you down a little bit. Were you a little worried?
Yeah, a little bit, but I knew I was taking that risk. I mean, you have to be so careful right now. If you could kill your stuff after 20 laps if you burn it up in the first 10, but I didn't want to give up the lead there fighting Mark, so I figured I'd just, push it and try to hold him off. But yeah, definitely got to manage the tires a significant amount.
And it seemed like the clean air was what was most important, from our perspective there. That's why I kind of thought you were fighting Mark so hard, because you knew that track position and clean air was going to be that important. What are you thinking? I mean, I know this is a track that probably maybe didn't expect to come to. You guys probably spent a lot of time putting in work on that setup, didn't you?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I mean, and then, we had the update, right, since we did these last, mile and a half. So the update and the aero's a lot different, and the tire wear is the biggest thing. But yeah, track position's huge, like always.
Well, definitely seems like it for sure. Glad to see you guys being so successful, and the racing out here has been nothing but exciting. Who can we shout out after your Stage 1 victory?
Yeah, thanks to you guys in the booth. Hopefully putting on a good show. Thanks to EPI. Yeah, thanks to ButtKicker, too, for sponsoring the series.
Well, thanks, man. Good luck for the rest of your race.
Thanks, guys.
That is Matt DeCiani, your Stage 1 winner. Of course, we got another stage going to be happening here in just a moment. I do believe the pace car light should be going out this time, and we'll be kicking off Stage 2. Of course, Stage 2 will end on lap 50. So definitely going to be a nice long run to the end when we go to Stage 3, and there are the pace car lights out. Big Al, I mean, the race has been so exciting so far.
Absolutely, Brian. This has been exactly what was advertised. Sorry, I hadn't been actually able to participate as I am technically challenged, and I got everything broke from my feet to my teeth, man. But we're going to get through this as looks like Matt DeCiani is going to go ahead and lead this field on back around. Lights are off on the pace car, getting ready to go racing. Going to kick it off for Stage 2.
Definitely some great moves there from some of these guys to get that track position on pit road. Definitely going to be curious to see. I mean, because I know Kenny Powell, a lot of those G&G guys, they started way in the back. And, we're also seeing, Clayton Hoffman, he's worked his way up into the top 10. I mean, what are we going to see from him as the pace car getting ready to shoot down pit road? And we're going to enter the Geico restart zone.
Yeah, that is another thing also, Brian, that is new, that restart zone where drivers actually have to be able to maintain race pace until they actually reach that zone. If not, then the leader himself will be black flagged. And if he doesn't take off in between those stripes, then, hey, he could also be black flagged. And the race starts, and here we go. We are off again.
A lot different of a restart than what we saw last time. Matt DeCiani really gunned it a little bit earlier that time, and it kind of caught Jeffrey Sousa a little bit off guard. Here's Kenny Powell now side by side with Joseph Lester. A lot of battling going on up here in the front. Of course, first lap. Going to be probably seeing some 3 wide here.
Yeah, absolutely. Chris Johnson now on the hunt. These guys are getting to be 3 wide. Kenny Powell holding off that driver that's challenging him to the outside there.
And it looks like Kenny Powell, his race car doesn't seem like it fires off very well, but it definitely speeds up as the run goes on. That's what I'm seeing from him. And there comes Carl Dodson. Of course, he was one of the fastest in that first stage. Wonder why he lost so many track position on pit road there. I'm curious, was he making adjustments? Not really sure.
Probably had a little bit of damage there that he was trying to get fixed, Brian, because, you know, that's the thing with these cars now, the new damage model, you are going to have to get that damage fixed. I don't think in the old days, you know, you could probably run with it a little bit, but that definitely isn't the case here.
Well, Joseph Lester, the 95, who won last week at Sonoma, now trying to challenge for the lead. He's up on the top side. And it looks like DeCiani's going to keep him covered. But man, Lester has been showing a tremendous amount of pace.
Yeah, speaking of pace there, we're going 3 wide here. It looks like Greg Wachinski's got himself as that dot there in the 5 of dice there. Kenny Powell's going to go ahead and pull through, maintain his position. But look at Chris D. Johnson coming down on the inside there. Carl Dobson's probably going to get stuck again 3 wide here with the 51 car. Man, these guys are just going crazy there.
That they are. Chris Johnson going deep into that apron. Man, I'm curious what that does on tire wear, and curious if that affects any of the handling, as he didn't seem like it really paid off very well for him, as he's going to get passed by Josh Schaffner. But Jason Baker, we saw him struggling in that first stage. Now he's worked his way up into the top 5, looking really strong in that 51 Marine machine.
Yeah, absolutely, man. These guys are definitely racing pretty hard here for us. I mean, you know, risking it for the biscuit. This is stage 2. Ooh, Greg Wachinski looked like he got a little bit of contact in that outside wall there. These cars, they get a little bit pushy there when they're in that draft. That's what that dirty air is going to do. Now, I'd be interested to see if Matt DeCiani is actually feeling pretty good there in that clean air, but the only way we're going to find out is we're going to have to talk to the guys behind him, because they're the ones experiencing that dirty air, Brian.
That they are. A lot of guys experiencing a lot of dirty air. Joey Preeb, he's fallen back quite a bit. He's now back in 13th as we see JC Nobrega making his way up to 12th place in that Ford machine.
Hey, and I just got to tell you, he did contact me after a race that we did, and it is Preeby, because I guess I slaughtered his name so bad that he didn't want any cows named after him. So, yeah.
I'm glad you said that. Well, I'll tell you what, that clean air has been so useful. DeCiani trying to still hold off Joseph Lester. Mark Pageant is starting to catch up too, so it's kind of a 3-way battle going on for the lead. Kind of big gap back to Jeffrey Sousa, who's about a second back from Mark Pageant.
Man, this is just, these guys are racing. I think we did definitely pick the track to come to if you wanted excitement, because I think that's exactly what this Chicagoland Raceway is presenting for us here. And these guys are going all out, you know, because this track, you will feel that tire wear. Ooh.
Oh, almost some problems back here. Chris Johnson almost gets into Greg Wachinski.
I think Johnson was a little bit tight there as Wachinski was along his outside.
You've seen a lot of that. I think those guys that have the tighter cars, they're going to run a little bit higher on the racetrack to try to kind of alleviate that.
Yep, but here comes JC Nobrega. He's going to try to go ahead and get by him. And then Joey Preeby is going to be trying to come by him as well. So Chris Johnson, I don't know if he's just gotten tightened up or what, but he is now going to find himself slipping on out of that top 10, Brian.
Yeah, he's blinking right now. This is a dangerous situation. Chris Johnson having some major blinking issues.
Yeah, he is glitching. I mean, that is one thing that's going on there, and that definitely makes the guys around him really nervous, because when you're looking at him from the race car, he's doing all kinds of weird stuff, you know, cartwheels and backflips, cheetah flips.
Clayton Hoffman is caught up to the back of Carl Dodson. Man, Clayton definitely has got himself a hot rod right now. Dodson looking like he's struggling a lot more than he did in that first stage. I don't know what's going on with that machine. Maybe you could have been right. Maybe he had a little bit of a glancing blow of the wall that slowed him down, or maybe he's just conserving his equipment.
Yeah, Preby and Nobrega, they are getting really close here, man. And Chris Johnson is tighter than shoes 2 sizes too small. So this is definitely making for an exciting run back here. But up front there, Matt DeCiani, Mark Paget, and Joseph Lester are all battling for their share of the lead.
That they are. A lot of battling going on back here further in the pack. You see Thomas O'Hara trying to make something happen. Philippe Radijic also right now on the top side trying to battle with Thomas O'Hara. And look at the run that Thomas O'Hara's getting here. He's got him a fast machine here. I think track position is just so important. Also, you know, collectively, when you got a ton of cars in front of you, that's just going to cause all kinds of handling conditions. You're gonna see a lot of guys probably make adjustments to deal better with that dirty air. Look at Al Kozlowski. He's making his way up into the top 15 on the inside of Philippe Radijic.
You know, if you're fast here, you're fast here, and that is the truth, man. And these guys, you're right, they're definitely going to have to go to the drawing board and figure something out. Looks like that 117 of Thomas O'Hara gave Joseph Preby the bumper there a little bit. I don't think it was a bump draft. I think it was more like a, hey, watch yourself. But Al Kozlowski now sneaking his way to get himself up into that conversation as well. But the whole thing is these guys are trying to get into the top 10 because, hey, that's where it pays. If you're not in there in the next 7 laps, man, all's for naught.
Yeah, this is exactly where the battling is going on at the kind of the edge of the top 10 here. Thomas, and it looks like he's going to get a good run out of 4.
6 laps to go before this stage is in the books, man. And I'm going to tell you, speaking of this stage, Kenny Powell was up to the front there in the beginning of this stage, but now he's finding himself slipping all the way back to the 8th place position, Brian. That just shows you how much things changed. Now, I don't think anybody had any time to make any major adjustments, but that's definitely going to be coming on this next pit stop if they need to.
Oh, yeah, this is going to be probably one of the most important pit stops of the whole race. I mean, the first 2 stages, glorified practice sessions to get those cars kind of adjusted and worked on, get that data. It's Kenny Powell trying to get around Jason Baker here.
Yeah, definitely looks like he is going to get the run on them there on that inside. And Josh Hoffman trying to figure out kind of what he's going to do. He's going to use Baker's draft. Now he's going to slide right on in there and try to run right in behind Powell. Now these guys are really going to start to figure out what the give and the take is once we get into this third stage. And I know, I hate to do the prelude to that, but right now, these first 2 stages kind of identical. They're both 25-lap runs. Third stage is going to be a lot longer there. Oop, looks like that.
Oh, Joseph Lester getting almost into the outside wall. That was some problems there from Joseph Lester as Jeffrey Souza makes his way up to 3rd. Carl Dodson able to get around him. So Lester seems like he does not have a long-run car right now.
Yeah, Lester definitely is struggling as he's going to fall all the way back to 5th there when he was actually right there behind DeCiani. So he's going to have to figure out something too, Brian, because that next run's going to be a lot longer than this one.
Speaking of DeCiani, he's now out to 1.7 seconds of a lead, 1.8 seconds of a lead. He has got him a very good machine on the long run. I think what's really aiding him, though, is got to be that clean air. I know we talk about it.
Could you say that one more time, McKay?
I'm going to say it again and again and again because it's so true. Carl Dodson on the inside of Mark Paget trying to make the pass happen. We were just talking about Carl Dodson. Like, is he struggling? What's wrong with him? I think he was saving tire.
Yeah, because he did just actually go right on by Mark Paget there, and now he looks like he's going to run that 14 car. Jeffrey Souza, though, he's trying to get his name on that board there in that conversation there because he is now up in the 4th place, Brian. And I'm telling you, even though we are drag racing this thing to the end of the stage, and I think that's exactly what's going on, it looks like Joseph Lester is side-by-side racing.
Yep, side-by-side right now with Clayton Hoffman. Hoffman trying to work his way up into the top 5. Jeffrey Souza going deep onto the apron here as now we have 2 laps to go in the stage. Look at Lester. Oh, he's going to tag the wall.
And Clayton's going to come by him on the inside, but these two are probably going to have to battle it out right now because got to figure out who's going to get that grip first as they're coming through this turn.
I'm surprised that Lester didn't lose that position totally just because. Oh. Clayton getting really tight up on the side of Lester there. This is a big battle here for 5th.
Yeah, pit road should be closed.
White flag is out for the stage. Chris Johnson still having some blinking issues back. So not sure what's going on there with him. But he definitely needs to get that took care of, as he is right now sitting in 10th place. And I do believe Matt DeCiani going to bring home another stage win.
Just like that, ladies and gentlemen, stage 2 in the books. Matt DeCiani is going to be your winner of stage 2 with Carl Dobson in second. Jeffrey Souza, third. Mark Padgett's going to be in fourth. Joseph Lester, fifth. Clayton Hoffman in sixth. Kenny Powell, seventh. Josh Schaffner in eighth. Greg Wachinski in ninth. And Chris D. Johnson is going to round out those top 10 points fan positions. And with that, let us go ahead and step away, take another word from our sponsors.
ButtKicker. Feel what you've been missing. Get yours today at TheButtKicker.com and be sure to use our 20% discount promo code ISCA20.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Pit stops are underway right now. Definitely a very important pit stop. You don't want to miss your box on this one, that's for sure. We were going to be able to try to talk to maybe our second place finisher in this stage, but do not believe we have access to him or Mark Padgett either. So unfortunately, we're not able to talk to them. Why don't we, we brought in one time, I do believe, Paul Olson just randomly. Let's bring in Kenny Powell. Let's see what he's got to say.
Yeah, okay, I think that would be an interesting call. Hey, Kenny Powell. This is Big Al up in the broadcast booth. You got us?
Yeah, I got you.
Hey, so how's everything going down there on the racetrack? Is tire wear even an issue?
I mean, it is wearing, but worked with the set, and I think they're wearing pretty even. Loosened myself up a little bit for this next little stretch, and we'll see what happens. Got high hopes.
Yeah, we saw you actually started that stage pretty high up in the order, but then as the stage went on, you kind of fell back. Do you think you got that G&G Camry dialed in there for the long run as we get ready to go into this third stage?
Yeah, I do think I've got a long run car, more so than a short one, so I think I'll have a little something at the end.
Well, roger that. But I know you had said that this guy was a rocket ship, so just wanted to give you a shout there, man, and see how you were doing, and hopefully we'll get a chance to talk at you towards the end of the race here.
Sounds good. I hope so.
All right, good luck to you.
All right, thank you.
That was Kenny Powell right now holding 6th place here. Pace car lights should be going out this time by. Definitely glad that we could surprise him. I mean, kind of like doing that. You know, a guy that probably doesn't expect to get spoken to, kind of get his side on it.
Yeah, I think you kind of scared the heck out of them because they're sitting there 1 minute talking to their friends, the next thing you know, you just snatch them, and and then you're talking to them on live air. It's like, whoa, wait a minute, what just happened?
Well, definitely got some good insights from him. Talking about the tires and what he's been making adjustments and things like that. Definitely, I think this is probably the last time you're going to be getting any adjustments in, just considering with the next pit stop we probably will see, depending on if we have a caution or not. If we do have a caution, that might be a different story. But the next pit stop we are likely to see is going to be a green one, which going to be very difficult to lay in adjustments under green.
Yep, green flag pit stops. I think that's where it's going to be, Brian. Lights are out on the pace car. Getting ready to kick this thing off green again. Matt DeCiani electing to take the inside. Let's see how he fares once he goes through that Geico restart zone.
Yeah, it has been one heck of a race here so far. Only 55 laps into it so far, when we still have quite a bit to go. And, man, these guys have been tearing it up out here, looking really quick. And we haven't seen a whole lot of guys really, you know, getting their cars torn up. I think that damage model might be in these guys' minds. You know, hey, I don't want to have what happened to Brian Johnson happen to me.
Yeah, because Brian Johnson, literally, he's rolling a three-wheeler now. That's just not fun for anybody.
You know, usually, you know, you could, before the damage model change, you know, you could hit that wall and it wouldn't be like that. You know, you can get back out there and probably still race, but no, that is not going to, you know, the case anymore. So a lot of these guys are going to be walking on eggshells here as the pace car down pit road. Matt DeCiani going to lead him to green. He gets a nice little jump there. We're going to allow Jeffrey Souza to be able to draft back up here. Kenny Powell and Josh Schaffner side by side. Schaffner not firing off very well here. Now he's going to fall into a battle here with Greg Wyszynski. See Clayton Hoffman and Carl Dodson right now side by side. Now looks like Carl Dodson going to scoot right up past him and get side by side with Jeffrey Souza. Oh, looked like we were getting ready to go through wide for a second. They're hinting at it. Dodson able to get clear here for third place. Mark Pageant and Matt DeCiani kind of running away by themselves as Dodson tries to draft his way back up to them. Side by side, fourth place on back. Everyone is 2x2, except now that Clayton Hoffman does finally get clear, and he is going to take fourth over.
Yeah, you got Joseph Lester back there at ninth place, you know, so you know you got some fast cars that are going to have to make their way through the field here. Right now, these guys are just definitely trying to.
Oh!
Wyszynski and Lester definitely get into contact with each other. That's not going to be good. We'll see how they fare from that. Lester looks like it doesn't faze him at all as he continues his run, going high around the outside.
Around the outside. Definitely doing some heavy racing out here. And you know what? Little contact like that still could prove disastrous, just considering. I mean, I've even heard people say that the new damage model makes it to where you can actually have it to where you get a tire rub.
Look, I saw a guy that got 0X before the race started and had 8 minutes of required repairs. True story. Lester definitely going to keep that car rolling, man. I think he's got it hooked up on the outside. Now he's going to run. He's going to be trying to come right up on Matt DeCiani, and we'll definitely see how he tries to fit in along with him. But he's definitely going to have to watch himself because, well, Jeffrey Souza is sitting right there as well.
You know what's really interesting about this? Matt DeCiani, for the first time, is outside of the lead. This is going to be the first time he's really had to deal with dirty air.
Yeah, but Mark Pageant is definitely, you know, he is feeling himself in that clean air for the first time. And I'm telling you, I met Dayton Bryan. Look, I can't get everybody's name right, but I'm telling you, Brian, he is definitely not going to want to give up that position. I just called you know.
That you did, my good friend. Clayton Hoffman, though, has worked his way up into the top three. Now the top two as he gets around Dodson. Look at the run that he just got. You can even see how on edge he was when he made that pass.
Yeah, Lester is definitely on a mission, man. He knows that 95 car is fast. But remember, didn't he kind of slow down as that run got going on there?
He did. He definitely did. He started slowing down, fell outside of the top five. Would not be surprised to see that happen again. Did he make adjustments to make that not be the case?
Yeah, we'll definitely.
Clayton Hoffman challenge him for the lead. Sorry, Big Al.
No. Lead. That's a big one there. But Mark Pageant's got to do what he's got to do, and right now I think that's going to mean he has to make that 02 car as wide as he can. You know, make that 02 Chevrolet just as big as you can there, because once you fall back and you're not in that clean air, it is a totally different song that you're going to be singing.
Oh yeah, that is 100% fact right there. Clayton waiting for Mark Pageant to make any sort of mistake so he can jump on it, take advantage of it. And he's going to be right up on the back end. It looks like he's going to try to take the top side. Can he make this happen?
You know, but these two are racing really, really hard for the lead, though. And that might not play out in their favor as this race goes on, because this is going to be one of those stages where you're really going to try to conserve, because what is going to happen is you're going to see those guys that like that Chris D. Johnson in 12th place and Josh Schaffner in 11th, you're going to see those guys slowly start to make their way up to the front, because if these guys have their setup set the long off, and that's what you should be doing right now, that's what we're looking for.
And the guy we were just interviewing, Kenny Powell, he's now 8th place. So he is falling back. Looks like that car not firing off very well. Hopefully he gets some long run speed. Of course, we haven't been very long into this run yet. Looking at it, we're actually 13 laps now into this run. So usually we see a lot of those guys' cars kind of start to fire off a little bit better, a little bit later than that. I'd say probably around 15 to 20. I think this new tire model definitely seems like it's making it to where, you know, that old adage is 100% true, where the first 5 laps out here on the racetrack are the most important when it comes to tire saving. If you get them heated up early, it's going to be hard to get the heat out of them later.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, these guys are definitely running around this thing. And I'm telling you, the testament to this is we haven't even had a caution run.
Yeah, definitely been we've definitely had some accidents for sure. But luckily, might have another accident here shortly as Joseph Lester all out of sorts. Carl Dodson able to take over 3rd. I think Lester hitting that point in his run where he is not having a good time. He's trying to run the wall, but he's getting increasingly close to it and also getting very, very loose. I'm curious if he made an adjustment to loosen that machine up.
And the one name that we hadn't said a whole lot about tonight, who is now our leader, that's right, the 92 car, Clayton Hoffman, has found himself up there to get his share of that clean air. And I'm going to tell you what, if I know Clayton Hoffman from calling races prior, just watching this guy, I don't think he's going to be trying to give it up anytime soon.
And everyone keep in mind, these guys have 5 set of tires down in the pits. Of course, they, I do believe, have used 2 of them already, so that means they have 3 sets left. 45 laps on a tank of gas, so that is going to be something to keep in mind as we see Matt Niciani catches up to Joseph Lester.
Yeah, I think, though, they might have those tires in the pits, but nobody's going to want to come down there and get those, you know. I think this is one of those situations where we're going to see guys just out there doing what they can, man, trying to make this thing work. And speaking of that, we still got 20 cars on the lead lap.
That we do. We did miss something, though. Philippe Radicic actually has retired on the night. He's 1 lap down now. John Mullins, 16 laps down. Brian Johnson is, of course, out of the race, 48 laps down. So definitely some guys having some issues out here, but that's not a lot of attrition. You know, you would expect it to be more than that. And I'll tell you what, one thing about it, you look at this field right now, everyone, yellow's out. Joseph Lester brings out the yellow here.
Just like that, Joseph Lester has taken that Napa know-how to a whole new level as he just single car spins. Looks like he just gets a little loose there on the high line. And then next thing you know, here comes Jeffrey Souza. And, well, ladies and gentlemen, that's a collision.
That it is. A little bit of discrepancy between paint schemes. I'm seeing him in a 95 Kerchow, you know, the Cars paint scheme. That's interesting. This is different. I've just noticed that. But yeah, look at that. He gets really, wow.
Yeah, the good thing that Lester, I could say, is, you know, he might have flat spotted a set of Goodyears, but I don't think he actually had significant contact to the front of that car. And the thing about it is, as long as it's sliding smooth, you know, you're not likely to tear anything up.
Yeah, I think you're right. I don't see a lick of damage on that machine. So I would say he should count himself very, very lucky. But now that we have had a caution, let's take a quick step away and pay some more attention to our sponsors.
Holy shit.
ButtKicker. Feel what you've been missing. Get yours today at thebuttkicker.com and be sure to use our 20% discount promo code ISCA20.
We are back, ladies and gentlemen. Some interesting developments. Austin Story has decided to stay out. He is on 19-lap old tires, 19, the same as his number on that machine.
Well, and it's interesting though, Brian, because if he has a schedule and he has a plan, I don't know. You stick to it because we got 12 laps on these tires right now since the last stage break.
19.
19.
Yep. There's quite a bit of tires or laps on them tires that he's got. I think we haven't seen the last of that yellow flag. But then again, it could be wrong. I don't know. I'm hoping not. I'm hoping that, this could be a genius strategy. It's just going to be dependent on how much those tires are going to be affecting him. We've already seen fall off from a lot of these drivers. And the thing about Austin Story, his fastest lap time, 31.2. Clayton Hoppin's fastest lap time, 30.822. That is 4/10 difference, and of course that's not even including the fall off that Austin's going to have because of those older tires. But hopefully the clean air is worth it.
Well, maybe he's planning on pitting late. Some of us are late pitters.
We'll have to wait and see. I do believe the pace car light should be going off this time by. Definitely an interesting. I don't think he can pit now, just considering if you don't pit that first time and you don't pit the second time, the pit's close.
I think where I come from, the correct statement is that's a bold move, Cotton.
It definitely is, very much so. But definitely, we've seen calls like this work. What was it in recent memory? I think Souza stayed out on one time and was able to win a race just because of that.
Yeah, but you're looking at the lap times. I think that's going to be the difference, though. The delta is. Austin Story's best lap time is 31.2. That's a lot slower than the guys behind him that have fresh tires. So I don't know how this plays out, except for him trying to find a line to go to the outside, or maybe he'll be at the side of the first caution, or the next caution.
Here we go. The pace car lights are out. Soon to get back green flag racing here. Of course, we are not inside of the fuel window, so won't be too long until it opens, though.
Yeah, the key thing is going to be what kind of start that Story gets on this, because if he spins his tires just a little bit, that's going to cause a lot of problems for him. But then also, Brian, you got to think about this. Old tires and cold tires, they got a lot in common.
Yeah, we could see some guys, on the colder tires lack a little bit of grip until they get the heat in them. You're right. So, I wouldn't be surprised if Austin Story fires off well. I would not be surprised that on the green that he's able to fire off very well, but I don't know if it's going to last, though. I think, maybe he'll maybe able to stay up there for a lap, but I don't think it's going to go much further than that. As here comes the pace car, going to be going down pit road. Field going to be in the hands of Austin Story.
And he's in that Geico restart zone, and he is off, Brian. And there we go. We are racing again.
And he did fire off very well there. Let's see what he does in 1 and 2, though. Clayton Hoffman getting a huge run. You can just see the massive difference here. Dodson's going to have to take him 3 wide. Oh, contact.
Oh, there is that 3 wide situation right there, and he is in the middle one. That is not where he wants to be. But so far, everybody actually able to get by him just fine without there being any issues. He's going to slowly slide himself all the way to the back of the field. I have a good feeling. Chris Johnson now behind him, trying to figure out how he's going to get around because he has Joey Preview right on the inside of him.
And that was quite the call there for him. I mean, if I was 19, I would be terrified having all those cars going around me like that.
Yeah, and these guys got a new lease on life because just like that, you know, when that caution came out, they get to come down, get 4 new Goodyears, and that, you know, now they're going to roll, baby, roll. And, you know, they won't be able to make it on fuel, but that totally changes the handling of these cars, Brian.
That it does. Yeah, one thing that changes the handling of these cars very well, I think that these guys actually were able to probably, you know, usually these guys with that 75% fuel tank, usually when they're racing officials and practicing and trying to get that car kind of dialed in, they have to kind of keep in mind about that 75% fuel. You know, change those cars. This week they really haven't had to do that. Just considering they were really the only race they're practicing for. They weren't doing any officials. The only race they were really worried about was Charlotte or Chicagoland, I should say. Sorry.
Yeah, I totally get what you're saying. Lester and Keselowski are back there, and they are definitely battling it out.
That they are. As Lester, of course, brought out that caution spun. I'm curious if he made some adjustments to that race car. I would assume he had to. I mean, because that car was not handling properly at all.
Yeah, Greasebomb right now, he is just kind of hanging out behind these guys. But, man, this speaks to the raceability of the drivers that we got out here tonight, man. These guys are literally letting it all hang out. We've got battles going on all over the racetrack, but Clayton Hoffman is definitely happy that he is still in the lead.
Hey, you see the 12 right now, JC Nobrega trying to get around Chris Johnson. Oh, they get really close to one another.
Yeah, I think Johnson's been tight more than he's been loose tonight. I mean, looking at him the way he's handling versus his other G&G teammates, it just seems like his car just isn't, is not as, you know.
Yeah, might need to loosen that thing up.
Not as flexible.
Yeah, definitely not. I think a lot of these guys definitely, they almost even had another opportunity there to make some adjustments that I don't think they probably thought they would have.
Yeah, I don't think they wanted to have that opportunity. Now, as previous on the inside of Josh Schaffner, this battle is for position. Is car number. These guys are actually battling for that 10th place spot. So this is definitely going to be, you know, the talking point for the top 10.
That it is. As Preby trying to go on the bottom here, dives it in underneath the 50, but the 50 is going to be able to have the exit here. Oh, the 65 is definitely getting tight onto the bumper there of the 50, but luckily did not hit him there. Nobrega trying to pick up the pieces here, trying to catch up to these guys and make his way. He has definitely been a car that I think we need to keep an eye on. JC Nobrega been showing a lot of pace here, but now Joseph Lester on the top trying to work his way back up, trying to recover from his spin earlier.
Yeah, Lester is definitely on a mission, and I think Nobrega was just kind of like, hey, whoa, you know, I'm going to let this guy go because that's kind of crazy. But you see the effect. You see the effect, though, that these cars are having on each other just when they come into that draft window. You know, that dirty air is something that they're all having to deal with.
Nobrega definitely are.
Yeah, Nobrega down on the inside, I think he was trying to figure out which way he was going to go, as he seems to go lower in the turns and then higher along the run. But Schaffner now going to come up in front of him, just trying to get a little bit of that draft, because without it, though, that's just going to let Lester run a little bit faster away from him than when they come around that turn.
Yeah, it looks like a lot of these guys have single filed out quite a bit here. Surprising to see, but I don't think it's going to last very long. That's the calm before the storm, if you will. Here's Joey Preby has caught up to the back end here of Kenny Powell. Now here comes Joseph Lester once again on the high side. Kenny Powell going to try to go up there and close the door on him.
Yeah, well, Kenny can't be in two places at one time, because when he goes up high for Lester, Preby just comes right down on the inside. So, you know, he's going to have to figure out where he's going to be, because otherwise he might find himself back there behind Johnson, because these guys are rolling in on him just like that storm rolled in on you earlier.
Oh, yeah, it was storming here earlier, that's for sure. And one thing a lot of people probably don't know, Joseph Lester been showing a tremendous amount of talent. He is actually 15 years old. Kind of crazy. I mean, definitely seems like he's a prodigy, if you ask me. He's been showing a lot of pace, especially if we had to win Sonoma like he did last week.
You know, there's another word, though, that has a P in it that I think he's going to have to display. That's patience as well, you know.
Oh, yeah.
Because you can have all the pace in the world, but you still have to be patient because you got to be in and around traffic. And guys need to know that they can trust you when they're running along beside you and when they're in front of you that you're not going to run them over.
So battling for second place here, Carl Dodson on the inside of Mark Pageant. He's going to take that spot away. Matt DeCiani going to also try to take that spot away and go up to third.
Yeah, I think DeCiani has his sights more set back on getting back on that lead right there. I don't think he's just going to settle for a podium. I think he's been out front. He's definitely got a car to be out front, and I think he wants to do that. But man, Clayton Hoffman, he is really setting a blistering pace. So those guys are going to have a hard time trying to catch him.
I don't know. Clayton's actually slowing down a little bit here. 31.9 was his 32 was his last time by it. There are some guys in this field that are faster than that. Speaking of which, Matt DeCiani, the guy we were just talking about, he's faster than that right now.
Al Keselowski right there on the inside of Joseph Lester. Be careful.
And it seems like Joseph Lester has hit that point in the run again to where he's having problems. I mean, something about that car in the mid to long run, it is not handling well for him.
Well, yeah, he's definitely has a lot of fall off. But, you know, the thing is, you got to save your tires here. You have to be conservative. You could be fast, but you're only going to be fast for so long. The key to winning these races is being consistent.
We do see Greg Wyszynski trying to fight off Jeffrey Souza right now. Fifth place, I should say. Wyszynski's been looking good. Earlier in this race, he looked really tight. Looked like he was having some problems in the longer run, but it looks like he's maybe got a lot of that sorted out as he's definitely holding that fifth place position. Don't know for how long, though, just considering how much pressure Souza's putting on him. And Souza had some really good pace in the longer run in those last stages, too. Oh, Souza getting really tight up onto Greg Wyszynski. Wyszynski able to hold him off.
I think Austin Story finally decided that he was going to have to come on down the pit road and get some of that clean magic action that those guys got from those tires.
I do believe the fuel window might be open here. It's really close.
So, now that's going to be interesting because if Story did what I think he did, I think he now is going to find himself actually to make it on tires. With the other drivers actually having the pit, unless there's a caution, that might be
the
call.
Look at that. Carl Dodson taking the lead. Clayton Hoffman gets incredibly loose.
Yeah, I think Austin Story's on to something here, Brian.
He could be, but then again, these guys up here in front, they're only 20 laps on their tires, and they're already struggling. The fall-off has been over a second, almost a second and a half. I don't know if I'd want to go that long.
Yeah, but these guys are, the thing is they're going to have to make it work. They're going to have to make those tires last, and he's the one guy that showed that he could do that. That's just something else to think about.
Definitely is, but definitely interesting to see, though, the new leader, Carl Dodson, able to get around Clayton Hoffman. And it looks like Clayton not done fighting yet as Matt DeCiani starts to catch up to the back end of him.
I'll tell you what, if this race is going to be given to the car that weighs the least, I think Lester might have a chance because he is just rubbing the right side of that car off completely. By the time he's done, he's going to be on a unicycle.
Yeah, I mean, maybe he's trying to lose some weight. I don't know. But I'll tell you what, one of the fastest guys in the field right now has got to be Greg Wyszynski. Last time by was a 32.4. This time it was a 32.6, but he's running really quick. He's caught up to the back of Mark Pageant. I would not be surprised to see Greg Wyszynski get himself a podium here tonight.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I think we might be looking at another caution coming out here pretty soon because these guys are to that point where, at this, people lose it, and that's what we have seen. That's when the one and only caution came out, right?
Oh yeah, I mean, could we see some other problems from someone else? We've already seen these guys kind of struggling, so it could come from anywhere.
Yeah, absolutely. It's Joseph Lester, though. He just made it by Jason Baker. Jason Baker is going to find himself running into the wall a little bit, too. These guys are having a hard time keeping these cars out of the wall as Al Keselowski is going to have his eyes dialed in. But you know what? He has got Chris D. Johnson just breathing down his neck.
Yeah, of course, Kirk Johnson's been having major blinking issues all night long. But luckily, it looks like it's pretty clear. Oh, Souza getting really loose. It looks like he's going to be able to manage to save it and keep it under, keep all four tires down on the pavement here. As Thomas O'Hara on the top, going to be challenging for 6th place.
Yeah, I think these guys are definitely starting to experience the woes of an ill-handling car due to tire wear. Most of these guys.
I'm wondering in all those practice sessions we saw, or we didn't see, of course, that these guys were participating in. Did they, do long runs like this?
Yeah, Lester into the wall again. They're on the outside. Like I said, eventually with this damage model, he is going to find himself on the pitch. But these guys haven't run any longer than 25 laps on their tires, and that's exactly where they are right now, Brian. So this being the longest haul that most of these guys have done, here comes Lester down pit road. Just like I said, it wouldn't be long.
He is just having a tough time. Definitely would have been something. If I was gonna have to come to this race at Chicago, I would have turned 45 laps. I would have did all the fuel run to see how my car was going to be able to, last me in, that way I'd be ready on race day. I'm curious if that's what we're seeing here, that guys may be coming in here a little bit ill prepared. Kenny Powell, though, moving up to 7th place if we get around Thomas O'Hara.
I'm not going to say they're ill-prepared, but, these guys probably, they had to run the long run. You got to do it. But, even kind of got cheated a little bit because there was a caution there that came out, and that really kind of threw a dagger in a lot of people's pit strategies because you start over. Now you're out here, you got 27 laps on your tires, and, you don't have enough to get all the way to the end of this thing. We're just getting ready to come up on 100 laps. That's a lot of things to think about, Brian.
Yeah, I know. We were talking a little bit to Kenny Powell a little bit before the race, and those guys are very confident in that G&G group. They feel like they got the most out of it. Those practices that they could, and they felt like they were faster than a lot of the guys that they saw out there. So it seems like they have come in here prepared. Their long run pace has been definitely, I think, the best of the race so far. As you can see, they're working their way through the field. Kenny Powell just got up to 6th place. Now he's catching up to Mark Pageant. We saw Greg Wyszynski. He's now in 4th. Josh Schaffner there, he's also trying to work, he's always been a guy that really saves equipment. So wouldn't be surprised to see Schaffner make some appearances up here in the top 5.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Schaffner's a racer. I mean, Kenny Powell getting into the back of Mark Pageant there just a little bit. I think that was a more, hey, watch yourself, more than move out of the way. But now
just a little touch.
Yeah, just like that, Powell now is going to find himself up in 5th position, but he is definitely going to have to fight to keep it that way because Mark Pageant, I don't think he is ready to relinquish that position just yet. Well, Powell,
Thomas O'Hara taking a trip down pit road here, kicking off green flag pit stops. Matt DeCiani has also taken over 2nd place from Clayton Hoffman.
Right now, your green flag pit stops, your car, I think you need 5 more laps. I say, worst case scenario, I'm going to try to get my driver to stay out at least 5 more laps. I want him to stay out until he actually runs that tank almost dry. That's what we're banking on because that way he'll be faster for the last part of the race. But some of these guys aren't, they're like, I pit now. It's time, time to pit now.
I think that who has that on their mind right now, Carl Dodson, of course, as you see on your screen, has taken his trip down pit road. He pitted from the lead. That's going to kick it off. I think you pit from the lead, everyone's going to be starting to do the same thing.
Here comes Kenny Powell down pit road.
Matt DeCiani, Greg Wyszynski, yep. everyone's starting to pit now because of this. Clayton Hoffman, though, has stayed out.
You know, but you're going to find yourself running a longer run than you've ran right now once you pit, though.
Well, I mean, I think this is probably the best time. I mean, considering actually they have the guys that are out there right now have 33 laps on their tires. So, and we don't have 33 laps to go. So I think this is probably the most opportune time to pit.
Yep. But if you want to be fast, I think you'll try to stay out as long as you possibly can because, you know, until you can actually get it up into the 40 range, I think that's that speed on that shorter run is going to be the key, I think, to winning this thing.
And I think maybe that's what Clayton Hoffman's banking on. Maybe a Jeffrey Souza. Maybe that's what he's banking on. I mean, it could be definitely the case.
You know, that's why they call them strategies. You just got to wait until they unfold.
Well, Carl Dodson right now is the first man 1 lap down. Of course, there are, I do believe, 5 people that have yet to pit here. There goes Clayton Hoffman down pit road. And he is in his box right now. Jeffrey Souza still out there. Of course, Carl Dodson taking his lap back. He is now back on the lead lap.
And now you're going to find something that's going to be real interesting because you got to have guys out there, those few guys that are out there still on old tires. I think we still got at least 4 drivers that are out there on older tires, plus Austin Story, who is somewhere in the field on 16-lap old tires.
Joey Preby and JC Nobrega both take their trips down pit road. That leaves only, I do believe, 3 that have not pitted yet, or actually, no, 2.
2, yep, that's going to be Jeffrey Souza and Jason Baker. Because, like I said, Austin Story, he is on 16-lap old tires.
Yeah, I forgot all about him. That's a good, glad you brought him back up. He is now up to 5th place right now. And looking at the separation here, he's about to get passed by DeCiani right now. DeCiani on the inside of the 19. Of course, the 19 is on older tires. But this could be a gamble that might pay off here for Austin Story. We'll have to wait and see. You see a lot of cars, though, are catching up to him very quickly. Looking at his lap times, he's at 32.3. Everybody behind him, 30 flat or 31s. Jeffrey Souza, I think, is banking maybe on a caution or something here. I'm surprised he has not gone down yet. Definitely trying to get some laps led, that's for sure.
Yeah, Jason Baker's still out there as well.
Yeah, I think these guys got to be thinking that a caution's going to come out or something like that. I mean, and it could happen. I mean, when you see guys on varying tire strategies, that's when the potential for a caution is pretty high.
Yeah, absolutely. But it looks like, I mean, like I said, that's exactly why you call them strategies, and you got to let them play out. And I hope that these guys do get a chance to let their strategies play out. Looks like Souza, though, is really off the pace. I think he's actually going to be coming down the pit road here pretty soon.
Very much. We saw a little bit of 3-1 action there as Kenny Powell was taking trying to get some positions there. We saw Mark Pageant going through the middle. Definitely some exciting racing going on right now, and looking like we're going to finish this thing under green. I can't wait to see how all of these strategies play out. Who was right, who was wrong, who executed it properly. That's the thing about strategies, too. I mean, yeah, you can have the perfect strategy, but do you have the perfect execution?
Ooh, let me say it. It's like fighting. It's like getting in a fight. Everybody has a plan until they get punched in the face.
That's right. Mike Tyson said that famously. Souza is still out there. He is right now on 40-lap old tires. He is in the next 5 laps probably going to be forced to pit.
Yeah, as he is right now at the tail end of that window, but he made it work, and I think that might be the risk for the biscuit call of the race right there, especially if he can make this thing play out in his favor. Now,
I don't know if it is going to play out in his favor. I mean, because it's just, the lap time difference is going to be great. He's going to be faster than everybody on the racetrack, but I don't think it's going to make enough time up. I mean, we don't. We're verging on soon to be 20 laps to go in just the next handful of laps.
Ooh, that looked really close there between Al Kowalski and Austin Story.
Here comes Josh Schaffner making a pass on Mark Pageant. Going to be moving up to the 8th position. It looks like he's going to try to challenge Kenny Powell. Carl Dodson right now is 10 seconds back from Jeffrey Souza. It looks like actually Souza down pit road. That's going to make Jason Baker the leader.
Yeah, Baker still hadn't pitted either. He's still on 42 lap old tires, which means I think we will be seeing him sooner than later also.
Yeah, definitely for sure. As he is only Carl Dodson is only 9.2 seconds back from him.
Now the question is, who's going to be out here getting aggressive? That's possibly going to bring out the caution. And now that these two have actually pit, it's not going to be in their favor right now.
Yeah, I mean, look at the lap times here from Jason Baker, 33.4. The fastest time that he has hit is a 30.9. That is well over 2 seconds of fall off. Here comes Souza off of pit road. And I do believe Jeffrey Souza fell back to 19th. So I don't know if he can make up right now. He's got 20.4 seconds to get up to, that lead again. I don't know if that's a time that he can make up. Maybe. I mean, I don't know. That's going to be interesting. I don't think he's got enough time, though.
Yeah.
See, Austin Story starting to lose some positions here. JC Nobrega able to take over 13th here. Also, the 9 car of Lucas Abreu up to, I do believe, 12th.
Yeah, but Jason Baker still yet to pit.
And I'm just shocked. I mean, but you can see the lap time difference here, though. I mean, Dodson's hitting 31.7 versus, Jason Baker 33.4. He's only 5.7 seconds behind him. When we last looked, it was 10 seconds.
Yeah, but he is going to be the fastest car on tires here, and he'll be able to pretty much flat-footed straight out for 17 or so laps.
Yeah, you're talking about Jeffrey Souza. Yeah, definitely for sure. I was talking about Carl Dodson. He is catching up to Jason Baker very, very quickly. But, I mean, look at the lap times we're seeing from Clayton Hoffman. He was one that waited a little bit later, too. I think Clayton, he might be in the catbird seat here. Because, I mean, looking at his lap times right now, 31.6 versus Carl Dodson, 31.8. Quite a substantial difference. And Clayton Hoffman's only 1 second back from Carl Dodson.
Yeah, but the key is going to be when Clayton's tires get old, that's going to be right at the end of this thing, Brian. So we just got to wait for this to unfold because a lot of guys that are fast now aren't going to be fast long. A lot of guys that are, slow. I mean, I don't know. I think this is going to be the one chance where we get to see what that final pit strategy was, if they made any adjustments, and how well they're going to be able to keep the hammer down.
And here comes Jason Baker. He pits from the lead, and Carl Dodson now going to assume the lead. But for how much longer, though? Because Clayton Hoffman is chasing him down. He is 0.3 faster than him. Matt DeCiani also showing some pretty good pace right now. See Greg Wyszynski. He's been really good on the longer run.
Yeah, and absolutely. The way this thing stages right now with Carl Dodson, Clayton Hoffman, Matt DeCiani, and Greg Wyszynski, these are your fastest runners of the race also, Brian. So now the fact that they're up front, I don't think that's going to surprise anybody. Right now it's just going to see who can be the fastest longest.
Well, here comes Clayton Hoffman onto the back of Carl Dodson. Let's take a nice cockpit camera here from Clayton Hoffman and watch as he makes this pass on Dodson. Definitely a good view here as he's dealing with some lap traffic. I do believe that is Derek Jacobs in the 27 machine. Look at the entry that Clayton has here. He is able to catch right up to the back end. Yellow flag. Oh, my goodness. What happened?
Trouble on the speedway.
I don't know who, maybe Jason Baker, possibly?
Nope, Lester. Joseph Lester. Lester right there is single-handedly responsible for both cautions. That's equal to the stage cautions, and right
He
there.
hit the wall that time.
That
He
is
definitely hit the wall that time.
Yeah, but that is going to definitely change the way this thing plays out, because all of a sudden I think we're going to have ourselves a race.
Oh, yeah, he got the front end on that wall. That is not going to affect that car very well, as that does bring out the caution. And like you said, he is responsible for every caution we've had so far tonight, unfortunately.
Yeah, and we're just still sitting here having fun. That's the big thing. And this caution right here that just came out, that is going to ultimately change a lot of things, because if you think about it, there's two guys that don't have to pit.
Well, I mean, everybody doesn't have to pit. But the thing is, I think you would want to. I think the real factor that we're going to be seeing here is who has the short run car. That's going to be who wins this race, I do believe.
But Jason Baker just came out of the pits.
That's a good point.
He is not going.
That is a good point.
Jeffrey Sousa's got 8 laps on his tires. He is still within his pit window as well to be fast. So, but
yeah, no, I think you're right. I think you're right, and we've seen Sousa do that before, And Baker, but then again, I think Baker actually just received a lucky dog, so I don't think Baker's going to be a factor, because he's going to still have the end of the line penalty. But
Right.
Jeffrey Sousa, though, yes, I could see that happening. If he stays out and he's able to hold him off, but 8 laps on those tires, that's still enough that I think we're gonna see a difference. But then again, when we go green, we're gonna have less than 10 laps to go, ladies and gentlemen. Let's take a quick step away and pay some more attention to our sponsors.
ButtKicker. Feel what you've been missing. Get yours today at thebuttkicker.com, and be sure to use our 20% discount promo code ISCA20.
And we are back, ladies and gentlemen. Interesting development here. I do believe everyone has stayed out.
Oh, wow.
I don't believe anyone has pitted. When we were under commercial break, that was when the pit stop should have been occurring, but no one has gone down pit road. This is very interesting.
Because these guys must all have their cars set up for the long run, Brian. That's the only thing that makes sense. Because, I definitely, I don't know, I would tend to go in this thing. I think maybe you would have come down for some pressure rubbers, because.
Oh, yeah. I would have, that's for sure. But you know what? We were talking about Jeffrey Sousa if he stayed out. Well, guess what? He's on only 8-lap-old tires, and everybody else is on 20-something-lap-old tires.
Yeah, but he's
going to drive through the field. He's in 15th right now.
Right.
He should have the pace to be able to drive through the field, though. This is going to be interesting. Pace car lights are out. We're going to be finding out soon enough here, as we're going to be going green with 9 laps to go.
Yeah, and I don't know if Jason Baker actually has the speed to get through the field. But, yeah, definitely I think Jeffrey Sousa will be that car to watch, though, as we do get ready to go. With some 9 laps to go, though, these guys are going to let it all hang out. We're going to be 3 wide. Yeah, it's going to go all the way, Brian.
We'll have to see if maybe we see another caution. We haven't really seen these guys all of them really have a restart when they're on all old tires. Could we see some wheel spin? That's my question.
Well, I mean, you got Dodson on the outside there and Hoffman. Both of these guys are, they know what they're doing. So they're not going to, I don't think they're going to have to worry about the wheel spin. I think it's just going to be about these guys trying to drive it in there because, I mean, what do you have to lose at this point?
Well, here comes the pace car going down pit road. Green flag seems to be waving as they enter the Geico restart. Early there for Carl Dodson. He jumps it a little bit there. He's going to be able to take the lead. I don't know. Clayton's been really good on the longer runs. Oh, 3 wide. Matt Niciani in the middle.
There he goes, Matt Niciani. Ooh, he got actually hit in the back there. Greg Wachinski goes high. There's that was that first 3 wide. Here comes Kenny Powell to the inside. He's going to push it and have that 117 of Thomas O'Hara sandwich between him and Greg Wachinski. But here comes Christy Johnson on the inside of the 117 as well.
Jeffrey Sousa already making his way up into 12th place. Now going to be trying to get around JC Nobrega. He is knocking on the door of the top 10 already. Clayton Hoffman. Oh, go ahead, sorry.
No, go ahead. As this thing continues to roll, looks like that 117 makes an accidental contact with Greg Wachinski again. And he's going to find himself right smack dab in the middle of a 3 wide situation once again. Here comes Al Koslowski on the inside. Al having to check up.
And we talked about Jason Baker not having enough pace to make anything happen. Look at him. Look at him go. Jason Baker up to 13th right now, starting 20th on that last restart, and 3 wide in the mid-pack here. This is insanity right now. Look at there, Baker just driving away from these guys. He's able to make these passes happen that no one else is able to do because he's on fresh tires.
Yeah, but Jeffrey Sousa right there, right beside Jason Baker, though, these two right there are actually in it together trying to get by.
I think Jason Baker could win this race. I mean, look at the pace that he has right now. He's already up to 7th. He started 20th on this restart and is now up to 7th.
But here comes Jeffrey Sousa, though, right behind him. And these guys still have to get past the rest of these guys. This isn't definitely anything but lovely out here, Brian.
I don't know. I mean, Sousa still being on a little bit of 8-lap old tires on that restart. Jason has nowhere on his tires at all as he gets around Clark Padgett like he's standing. Oh, contact with the wall there from Jason Baker. He glances off of it. I'm wondering if that's going to affect his pace as he tries to catch up here to Matt DeCiani. Clayton Hoffman has taken over the lead.
Yeah, with 5 to go, though, you're right. He is driving like a man possessed. And these guys were on old tires, so they really, all they can do at this point is just watch him pass by and wave and say hi, because he is definitely marching to a beat of a different drum as his tires are just now starting to get warm. So definitely the call of the race, it worked out for him. You said that he was a lucky dog and wouldn't be a candidate. I didn't say anything. Looks like right now the only...
I think I was wrong.
Yeah,
I definitely feel like he's a candidate right now, though.
And he's getting ready to chomp down on Clayton Hoffman, and that is definitely got to be something to watch this guy go by like that. I mean, wow.
This is going to be his first win ever in the ISCA Stock Car Association.
Well,
if he's able to hold off, he's got to survive 3 more laps when he crosses the line.
And pray that nobody else gets into each other, because it's still racy everywhere else on the racetrack. And right now he is in clean air, and nobody else is going to be able to catch him.
Just insanity right now. This is insane. Jeffrey Sousa, though, has fought his way up to 3rd place. He's going to try to work his way around Clayton Hoffman and take over 2nd.
Yeah, Josh Schaffner now is finding himself in 5th place, and he is definitely trying to work up to Carl Dodson. But, he has got company, the 19 of Austin Story right there on the inside of him. Remember Austin Story, the guy that I said that he hadn't actually, he's only got, 29 laps on his tires, so that's another thing that is working out in his favor.
Yeah, I'm surprised he's doing this well right now with that many, that much on his tires.
No,
I mean, I'm looking at it. Austin Story definitely has older tires.
Yeah, I thought Story would have had less tires, but yeah, you're right. But yeah, just like that, he has got himself up in the 3rd place behind Jeffrey Sousa and Jason Baker.
Yeah, Austin Story trying to make a story here for tonight as he has worked his way up onto the podium. White flag is out. Jason Baker going to be going around this racetrack for the final time. As it looks like Austin Story going to try to take away second from Jeffrey Souza. This race has been nothing but excitement. I have been on the edge of my seat. And here comes, looks like Jeffrey Souza going to go down back to third place as Austin Story takes it over. Jason Baker with his first iRacing Stock Car Association victory. And that concludes the Domino's 200. What a race. Jason Baker going to, like I said, win this thing. Austin Story second place. Jeffrey Souza third. Fourth place is going to be Danilo Coelho, I do believe. Fifth place, Clayton Hoffman. Sixth place is going to be Carl Dodson. Seventh place, Josh Schaffner. Eighth place is going to be Matt DeCiani. Ninth place, Mark Pageant. And rounding out the top 10, Kenny Powell.
That's going to put Joey Preby at 11th with Al Keselowski in 12th. So J.C. Nobrego is going to be in 13th with Chris D. Johnson in 14th. Greg Wachinski, 15th. Lucas Abreu in 16th. Paul Olsen, 17th. Thomas O'Hara in 18th. Austin Griesbaum in 19th. And Derek Jacobs rounds out the top 20.
21st is going to be Robert Pattengale. 22nd, Joseph Lester. 23rd, Philippe Radijic. 24th, John Mullins. 25th, Brian Johnson. And that wraps out our 25-car field. We're going to take a quick step away so that we can get the post-race show started.
ButtKicker. Feel what you've been missing. Get yours today at thebuttkicker.com and be sure to use our 20% discount promo code ISCA20.
And we are back for the post-race show here for the Domino's 200. What an exciting event this has been. I mean, man, who would have said in a race that is not, really scheduled in NASCAR would be more exciting? I mean, this has been one of the best races I think we've had all season long. This has been just insanity. But, of course, we got to calm down a little bit, maybe talk to some of our podium finishers here. We got Jeffrey Souza here in the booth, our third-place finisher. Man, what a race that was. I mean, we kind of thought you were going to be the one that was going to find yourself in victory lane. How are you feeling?
Yeah, that was interesting. There, that last however long it was. I kind of tried to do the same thing that Jason ended up succeeding with, but I kind of thought I was going to end up lap down, so I pitted a little bit earlier, got out right in front of him to stay on the lead lap. And then even though he was a lap down and got the wave around, he still ended up driving through there. So pretty crazy.
Yeah.
That it was. It was definitely very crazy. You put on quite a show out there still. I mean, you had a really fast car. I think you would have been top three no matter what. I mean, how are you feeling about Chicagoland? I know this is kind of like, the officials aren't racing here. How are you feeling, not having that really time to prepare?
Yeah, we've been practicing the last week, on and off, between practicing for Nashville next week, and we've kind of felt like the car didn't feel great, but had some speed, and those first two stages we were up there in the top three. Me and Mark were on something similar. Carl was on his own stuff there, and he really just, I think he had the best car. Short run was a little bit off them guys saving stuff, but long run he definitely was gone on all of us. So I guess it's nice that one of us at least finished in the top three after probably we all had about top 4 or 5 cars, but would have been nice if we could have ended up with him in victory lane tonight.
Yeah, it seemed like he definitely had the pace to do it. Unfortunately, just kind of didn't go his way. But that's just kind of how the cards fall sometimes. I mean, but still, you guys put on a heck of a show out here at Chicago. Congratulations on your 3rd place finish. How are you feeling about Nashville Superspeedway? Speaking of that.
I think it's going to be very interesting. Somewhat similar to this track where you can run that second groove if you set the car up to run up there. So I think we should be in tail for a good race next week. And with the changes they made last week to this car, there's a lot more tire fall off. And if we were on the same build we were a few weeks ago, I'm not sure that we would have had this big run through like Jason and myself and Austin did. So, should be interesting. Gotta keep the tires dirty and see who has the fresh pair at the end.
Yeah, definitely kept things interesting for sure, man. Well, congratulations on your 3rd place finish once more. Who can we shout out here tonight?
Yeah, I just got to thank everybody at Triad. Without them, Mark, Thomas, and obviously Carl. Jeff Barnes wasn't here tonight to run, but he did practice a lot with us this week as well. So everyone over there, Sousa Media, Trust Me Vodka, and Stat Analyzer honestly, without Stat Analyzer, I'd be lost because they really help. That program helps to make sure we have all that lap data saved every week and easy to compare it. So thanks to all them for getting this thing out on the track and keeping good pace in it.
All right, Jeffrey. Well, hopefully we'll talk to you next week. Congratulations once again on the 3rd place finish. Big Al, I do believe you have our 2nd place finisher, Austin Story, waiting.
Hey, Austin Story, this is Big Al up in the booth. You got me?
I got you, man.
Man, oh, what a strategy that you have going on tonight. You want to talk to us a little bit about that? Because after we came out of stage 2, you elected to do some things a little bit different. I think you were the first one to run out a full tank of gas. So what happened there?
Well, on one of the later restarts, I stayed out on old tires. I was struggling very, very bad. Decided to pit, got my lap back. Caution came out, so we had an extra set of tires than everybody else. Got them on. They went to the front on the last restart.
Yeah, absolutely. And then you found yourself, driving through the field on old tires. That was awesome because you actually even drove by Jeffrey Sousa, who had some 20 laps less on his tires. So what do you attribute your speed to?
Just my setup. Josh Ward helped me a lot this week on getting it tuned. So just want to thank him for that. The high side was really working for me tonight. So, yeah, that's pretty much it. The bottom sucked for me. I would get loose on exit, but that high side, I would just roll right through.
Well, roll right through you did, all the way to the bank, smiling and grinning with a big old plate of biscuits with that 2nd place finish. Next week, head on out to Nashville. You got anything up your sleeve for that one?
I do not. I suck at Nashville. So, try something different, see if I can get a little bit more speed. But, yeah, just hoping I can do a little bit better there.
Well, a little bit better there will put you in the winner's circle, but congratulations to you on a 2nd place finish. Before we let you go, anybody would like to give a shout out to?
I want to shout out Josh Ward for sure and Money House Graphics. Yeah. In prayers to the Clint Boyer family. No one should have to go through that he's going through, so yeah.
Well, hey, thank you very much for your time, sir, and congratulations again. It was no small feat to get your car up there in that 2nd place and on the podium. From Big Al to you, congrats.
All right, thank you, man.
That is Austin Story, our 2nd place finisher here on the night. Next up, I know he's very excited to talk to us up here in the booth for the first time, I do believe. This is the first victory, if I'm not mistaken, Mr. Jason Baker.
Yes, sir. First victory with the league, yeah.
You got to be feeling something else, man. Just a state of euphoria. The way you drove through this pack was something, it was beautiful, to be honest with you.
It was, you know what, for about the first 124 laps, it was kind of like patience. Let's just get to the end of this because I only had a setup for about 15 laps to stay with those guys. And then that caution came out and I'm like, I was only on 2 laps on my tires. I'm like, all right, now it's time to be aggressive.
Well, that you were. You went from 21st, I do believe,
Yes, sir.
all the way up to first within a span of, I think you said it, 4 laps while we're under a commercial there.
It was 4.5 laps, something like that.
Just insanity. I don't think we've ever seen anything like that before. I don't think we've ever seen anything like that before.
Well, I knew that Jeffrey was on fresher tires than the rest of the field also. I mean, I think I had maybe 5-6 laps extra on him. So I knew I had to get in front of him. And then Austin stayed out on like 21 lap tires, a couple cautions or a stage break or something like that. And it was just, once I got in front of those guys, it was, okay, how can I see my way through all of this stuff? And it worked out. It worked out perfectly.
It definitely did, and it's got to feel good to, have that, especially a beautiful paint scheme like that, go to victory lane, that 51 Marines machine. Love that paint scheme, man.
Yeah, all of my paint schemes are Marine Corps. I did 2 tours in Iraq, and actually the nameplate inside of my car has my platoon picture from Iraq in there. So they're always on board with me.
Gotta love that, man.
My brother does a good job with all my paints.
Man, I love to hear that. I mean, you getting that thing in victory lane too. I mean, it's almost like Dale Earnhardt having that penny taped to his windshield.
I don't know that I had a penny or anything today, because honestly, I was not even a top 10 car in this field. It just worked out that I had the best tires and was able to make stupid moves there at the end. That this time it worked out.
Yeah, we even saw you scrape the wall a little bit there. That kind of made us worry. I was like, oh no, this is not going to work.
Oh yeah, well, you know what? And honestly, I think if this race had been before this past update, that would have hurt me a lot more than it did. But I've noticed a lot now, like you get into that wall, even though, it's a 0x and they add up at the end, you're not crushing the body panel on it anymore. So that whatever damage model that they've changed to, you're not even crushing the body panels on these things anymore when you get those light 0x's. So it's not really affecting the car.
Well, it definitely seemed like it didn't affect you too much as you were able to lock down the victory here. How are you feeling? I mean, do you feel like, this is going to create a lot of momentum for you coming into Nashville Superspeedway?
I mean, I'm hoping. I really am hoping. But we'll see. I'll bust my tail on the setup for Nashville, and Nashville's always been a weird place for me, but the only way you get better is by putting time into it, so I'm just going to have to put some time in.
Well, man, you definitely, usually we only have, where we ask you about the race and we ask you about, what the next race is going to be, and we do the shout-outs. I'm going to ask you one more question. How are you going to celebrate this I can't talk. This big victory. This big victory.
You know what? I'm probably going to go outside, have a beer, but I'm old, so it's already like damn near my bedtime.
I don't know if I can go to bed after winning.
Oh, hell. I can go to bed. I can go to bed on anywhere. I can go to bed on the floor.
The Marines teach you that, I would assume,
Absolutely.
right?
Absolutely. You can fall asleep anywhere.
All right. Well, after a huge victory like this here tonight, who can we shout out, Jason?
I'm going to shout out for Kenny putting this on. He busts his tail with all of this. Give you guys a shout out for putting a hell of a broadcast on in and out each week. My brother, he helps me with everything, makes my paint schemes. That's my teammate for Racing Bakers. And shout out my dynamic team. I actually built this setup off of a setup that they had from a couple months back, even though I wasn't that good in it. But that's really it, man. Shout out to my wife.
You can't forget her.
No, you can never forget the old lady. Otherwise, you don't do this no more.
That's right. Well, we appreciate your time, man, and hopefully we get to talk to you much, much more in the future. You get that first victory, you never know what can happen after that.
Yeah, absolutely. I hope so, too.
That is Jason Baker, tonight's winner here for the Domino's 200. And with that, I do believe, Big Al, you got any final thoughts on this race? I mean, I'm just bursting with excitement.
Yeah, it was an awesome race, Brian. I think congratulations to everybody that came out. Congratulations to to Mr. Becker there for his first win. I think it was just an awesome time around.
That it was. And with that, I do believe that brings us to the conclusion of tonight's broadcast. Of course, big shout out to Rob Melnick down behind the cameras, and also big shout out to Big Al commentating with me in this race. With that, we'll bid everyone adieu, and thanks everyone for watching.